And we're live.
Hello everyone, welcome to the very first Illusionist e-stream. We're so excited to be here. We're your hosts, Pesios Akomanis and JT Halakis, and today we have a very special guest with us. Precious, why don't you tell us a bit about him?
Well, this guy is a piece. He was born around 1982, like me. He's an artist specialized in plexiglass art pieces and installation. He has made many exhibitions around the world. But we all know why you're here, right? You're here because of his magic. Has one of the most ingenious creations and performances, effects like Fly, Pink, Stay Cool, Silhouette, and his latest miracle, Optics. Most people know him as Tobias Dostal, but friends get to call him Toby. And this is exactly who we have with us. Toby?
I'm on.
Yes, you are.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, welcome.
And you are
Yeah.
cool. And you are cool. What's
How's
up,
it
buddy?
going, dude? How's everything going? Are you safe? Are you well? Is your health okay?
Yeah, I'm really good. I'm safe in my studio. This is my best place to be in the moment. We have also like lockdown and stuff. I don't know how about Greece. I think crazier, right?
Yep,
Same here, yeah.
same.
Oh man. Yeah, but it's good times. I don't know. I enjoy myself having some, lockdown situation.
Yeah, well, we'll discuss this. First of all, thank you for jumping by the Discord server. Guys, if you don't know this, we have already launched our Discord server. Toby was actually one of the first artists to join, and we got to jam a bit and
Yeah.
to show him around the server. And yeah, let's get right into the interview. So, should we start with like your career, how your creative process works? What were your first effects?
I think
What you think about?
I think we should start with the beginning. Like, how did
Yeah.
you start at magic? When did this bug bit you?
Yeah.
It's a good question. I think I was pretty young. I think I was like 7 or 8 years. My father was showing me some magic tricks. He collected these small little things you could buy from magic stores, like something that you can fold up and fold up again, and the colors change. These really sweet ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think at this point I was super interested in this stuff, and then I think around when I was 13, I started doing my little shows in my town where I grew up, in the near from Frankfurt. I'm coming from. Yeah, I don't know. I just continued, and this is how you start magic. You just buy stuff in the magic store, and you just perform everything that exists because you think this is magic. This is what is cool, But at one point, you realize actually what is really important for you to perform, And then, yeah, at one point you create your own stuff. This is how it goes.
Yeah. So, like a lot of people, we all admire you for your creativity and the amazing effects that you come up with. But can you take us like a bit of not exactly step by step, but what do you think when you create an effect? Because I think that you will both agree that you either go and you try to create something, or you just stumble upon it. Like an idea just pops and it's like, oh, this works.
Yeah, I think there's no creation that came overnight in perfect conditions. I think there's also no magic trick is ever ended for the construction and things, because it's mostly you start doing magic, and then this coin move, and then this technique, and after a while you realize you can combine these two things, and
Yeah.
I think it has to be really something you figure out with a lot of good magician friends as well, because there are things you cannot see by yourself. You have to show what you're actually thinking, which is cool, to other people, and let them tell you if this is something they're fooled with, or maybe it goes in this direction. You have to also trust some good friends in your creations. I think this is really important.
You could say that this is some sort of curse at the same time, right? Because when you don't feel anything is finished, where did you put the full stuff? When you say, okay, I'm done with that, this effect is ready, this piece or whatever, I'm not going to work it ever again. This is what
I
it
don't
is.
know. This is, there's always.
Do
the
you ever?
technique. I think I always continue doing my things, but
Yeah.
if you have already a method, or let's say a mechanic that allows you to be creative with, I love magic tricks that are just like tools. So if you can use that gimmick to do this and that, and you can also still come up with things after years with this, then it's a really great piece of magic, because it's not just like a coin a pen that goes through a coin and that's it. It's like
it's a tool.
It has to be something more. You can have to really play it, and this is important for my creations. I love to be creative.
Yeah, and I think that as a friend of yours, I can really tell that every time you create something, you just go at it for like months, and every time I see it, it's like, oh, this is I've evolved this more, and I've evolved this more, and it really proves that you just cannot create something and be like, this is it. You have to keep thinking and perform it, and
yeah, you have to play it. You have to really take this piece and even go in bars trying this on people and not just think like, okay, now it's ready, I think now I have a prototype I will send, and this is because this is not good. It has to be really, I think, like with, for example, optics or something. I had the idea 5 years ago.
Wow.
How to work with the light, and from that point on, I don't know. Every year, I think I showed you a different version of it.
I remember you coming to one of the places I was working on, and during a break, you came like, "Oh, I gotta show you this. Give me your phone." And it was like, and then when you showed me how it works, it was a really prototype. It was really early on, and you kept evolving it and evolving it and evolving it until it was. But that's the question. That's what I wanted to hear. Where do you put the full stop? When do you say, "That's it. Let's move to the next one"? Or
I think if I can offer with this gimmick more than 20, 30 routines, you're actually to see the spectrum of it, what this can be, then it's definitely something where I'm saying, okay, now play with it. But you can be sure in the next year I show you 50 other methods around this, So, of course, it's you have to, like when I do art, there's the same question: when is it finished? Should I do some more and not? And sometimes you just have to decide. I'm satisfied for the moment, but if you sit on your satisfaction, like now it's done. It's also not good. After a little while, it should come back and say, yeah, maybe you could still go a bit more, like This is the kind of healthy way to go for it.
I think it's safe to point a question that came from Luke Swinkles, which is like the things we're talking about. At the moment, how many ongoing concepts are going on in your brain?
Oh God,
a rough number.
I showed you my table.
Oh yeah,
and it has really. I have to say, this year, I mean, it's a shame what happens to the whole world in the moment, like that we cannot see us and like going to conventions and things. But on the other side, I think next year, oh my goodness, if I release all the stuff that I have thought of this year, this is going to be really crazy. And I don't know, I have two things that are like so it's such a new concept for magic that I feel like
not yet. It's too soon. But before we go into the next question, there's a very interesting question in the Discord server. Zach asks, what opportunities have you had because of magic that you may not have had otherwise? Like, is this did this happen to you? Do you feel like you had some opportunities because of your magic? Because we'll discuss about your art too.
This is a good question, because I feel like this is a must-have for life, to know at least 2-3 good magic tricks, because magic opened me every door in my life. Really, it's not only because I trained to perform something. I also trained to be kind of to put my self-esteem, in a position where I could just go to, even without doing magic, to a bunch of people like, hey, how are you doing? You're just getting more social, actually. This is like, I think this is why every kid starts magic maybe at one point, because first they don't have friends because they're at home, and then they show their things, and then everybody wants
popular.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's really important to use your magic in your life, right? You have to always have a magic trick in your pocket to amaze people, and people love to be amazed, so they really open up to you in a super personal way if you show them a magic trick. I just really think it's super important to have magic in your life, just to open every door that you want to go to. When I'm in an opening, an exhibition for my art stuff, it's really like everybody is, bit reserved in a way, but if you just can go do a little magic trick, everybody opens up and the whole room is suddenly full of love. I feel like, you know this, if you do magic at a place and the whole people who want to meet there, they actually talk about what you did and they communicate, and it's really lovely that magic can do this, you know.
Yeah.
It's really special.
So there's an amazing question in the Twitch chat that says, it's a difficult one. Where do you find inspiration?
Oh yeah, I mean, I talk with the really good magicians every week. I don't know. I have to say I'm really happy that we have these video chats now. You know.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I speak with Mario Lopez every week, or 2 weeks. With Garrett Thomas, I show him my stuff, and I don't know. This community is really. I think it got more together because of the whole pandemic thing.
Yeah.
Because everybody sits home and is just happy if there's an input to exchange. But my real inspirations for creating my effects is really coming from performing. If I'm out in a, let's say, in a whatever, just in a bar, not even on a gig, and I'm thinking, oh man, it would be so good if I could just have a gimmick now that, you know, the napkin is just a little bit levitating, and you know, like I can give it to someone. Like I just have these ideas where I'm thinking I have to remember this, and on the next day I build it in my studio, and then I take it out in the bar again, and I do this what I was thinking of. And this is the best places. If you create things, you have to see what you actually need in your magic, what really suits you, you know, in a way. And I think just going out and trying things out on real people gives you the best inspiration. What would have been really cool to do this person afterwards, you know, like, yeah. But yeah, you have to watch movies, you have to watch art, you have to see a lot of things, and just take them for your, not just steal them, but get inspired from everyone, you know, that is doing cool stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, Precious, do you want to ask him about how he met Brad Christian and the Illusionist team?
I really love that story, and please share it with us, buddy.
I mean, I think it was in 2013. Oh man, it's also long ago though. But I had a scholarship. You know, I studied fine arts in Braunschweig, which is here in Germany, a city. And I was happy enough to get the scholarship to be with my art, going to New York City for 1 year, getting a studio, a flat, and money per month just to live there and to discover New York, the art scene. I didn't do any art at this time. I was just going around trying to meet all the magic scene that exists in New York City, which was, I think, really a game changer in my life because, man, New York City has a really strong scenes for sleight of hand, and I met Tony Chang, I think at kind of the beginning of my year in like March, and then I hang out with this guy every weekend, and Doug McKenzie, Xavier Spade, you know, all the cool guys that hang out in New York City. I was really lucky to meet them there. And yeah, at one point Tony was just calling me like, hey, you know, I'm here out with Illusionist guys, you know, come over here, come in this bar. And I was like, okay. And I think they were filming a project with Justin Miller at this time. And yeah, I don't know, I showed them some of my stuff I was doing, and they were like, oh, wow, that's cool. And like, you want to release your 4-fly routine with us? And I was like, man, that goes quick, you know, like, okay, let's do it. They're only here for 3 days more in town. So I just went there, and Peter McKinnon, really the best guy ever, filmed me for this download, but it was just the beginning of my creating more and more magic, you know, like then Stay Cool came, then Silhouette, not Silhouette, before it was Ping. This is what I want. There were so many effects that I came up with all the time, and I'm really happy that it still goes on. I mean, yeah, it was great night. I mean, Brad Christian is also the most loveliest person to meet when you go out in New York City, hang out.
At this point, I want to ask you a question. It's not planned. Even Johnny didn't know I'm gonna ask you this because it's a question a friend of mine asked me for something unrelated, and at the moment he said it, I think it's like What a beautiful question to have in any interview ever. And I want you to try to be as honest as possible because
Hmm.
we'll get to know, we'll get to know you a lot. And if you could pinpoint, what's the first lie you told yourself? That's the question.
Ooh,
Wow.
that's
That
deep.
got deeply,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It got very deep.
got a deep turn, but I think it's a beautiful question because we all have lied to ourselves in various stages of our lives, and many lies came early on in our childhood that we told ourselves, and I mean, I think it's a really interesting question to see where was that point to everyone's life who just told a lie to himself for
I don't know
various
yet.
reasons.
It's really good question. I mean, it starts like if you just tell yourself that maybe a strong drink is really good for you now. No, let's think about it. Actually, I'm really happy that I never got in a real position where I always did what I really was hunting for, and I'm really happy that at the end I can live from the things that I do. You know, it's really a privilege for me. You know, I'm really. But the question is, I have to think about this, where I'm really
Yeah.
lying for myself because I'm really honest to myself, and if I know,
Always,
of course, things,
always,
yeah,
you've never lied to yourself.
maybe to others for sure.
Fair point. Fair point.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to talk to us about your art? Because many people know this, but maybe someone doesn't, that you're actually an artist and you create some amazing
Oh,
stuff.
Wait,
You're actually at
wait.
your studio.
So
yeah.
sorry.
I don't know. I don't have so much stuff to show you, but
So sorry.
I
Just give
can
me.
tell you that my art
Oh, sh-
is really connected to my magic, and you know there is this the beginning of yeah, you remember these times with Georges Méliès who invented the first film techniques with real analog film. So I'm really inspired from that time where film
Yeah.
got created. You know, like all the animation techniques and like really
who was also
simple.
a magician, right?
It was a magician. He's called Georges Méliès for sure.
Yeah.
You know one of these films with the travel to the
Yeah,
moon.
yeah.
It's like a black and white movie with
Yeah.
a moon with a rocket in the eye and really cool stuff. And if you look at the history, he bought the theater of Robert Houdin in Paris, and he was making all his crazy films there. And Robert Houdin was also a deep inspiration if you look at all the sculptures they were building, because he was a son of a watchmaker, and he was really able to build kinetic
Antique. Yeah.
sculptures. And this is why he was so famous, because he had material nobody could ever perform because it was original. He created this stuff. So this is really for me an important point. So I studied the film area like really at the beginning, the analog world of it, because I think this is pure magic, you know, getting one picture after another and then you see it as a film on the wall. So magicians used this long ago to just create a ghost on stage. People didn't know about cinema yet. It was like for people a new medium where how is this projection? You know, nobody knows what is a projection. So I'm really focusing in my art on this kind of yeah, kind of kinetic sculptures that show film in a different way. I don't know. Can you see this? That it's moving?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, cool. It's just a very simple technique to put two images like a flip book, and these are like scratches I put in acrylic, and I shoot some light inside that they reflect on the scratches, and I just make a little electronic that the LEDs go on and off and show my scratches differently. Yeah,
That's really cool.
Are
it's just I
these called
invent like little film
installations,
projectors.
right? These called installations.
Yeah, it's installation. It's a mix between drawings and film and yeah, sculpture. Yeah, it's cool. I have a gallery in Berlin. I should always show my new works there,
All right.
and it's really cool to work in a different field as well. I mean, art is you create also all the time something, and you see new ways of things, and get inspiration from there, and then put it back to my magic. And otherwise, there's such a great way to go with your brain in different directions. You know, it's
Yeah.
really helping me a lot to create new effects because I know so much about art and how I can actually build things and getting materials and see other artists who can build me something from whatever silicon or you know different material I need. So it's great to know people who can help you with getting your ideas forward.
Yeah.
Great.
So, Precious, I don't know if you noticed, we have Slightly Hattie in the chat room. He's actually here.
Slightly Hottie is in the house.
Yeah.
If you're
Welcome, Slightly
wondering
Hattie.
why we're pointing this out, you have to come to the Discord server to find out.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
So let's move on. We want to talk about optics. It's one of the best-selling effects of the year. I mean, it's an amazing effect. I remember when you showed when did you show this to me? It was like in the first stages, I believe, right? It was a very a prototype, and oh my God, this effect! Everybody has gone crazy with it. Everybody loves it. What can you tell us about it?
I think this was great.
Yeah, on the rooftop.
Yeah, this is. I'm really proud of this one. It's really changing so many perspectives, and at the end, it's not just a magic trick. It's a time travel kind of thing. I love time travel ideas, so it's a gimmick that really is a really powerful weapon. Even if you just use it for a gag, it has again all these different ways you can play it. So this is so great that it's not just this effect. It has space for your own creativity, and this is important. Yeah, it's. I'm really happy that I have this all the time in my pocket, and if I have the chance, I blow people every time away. They have to sit down for a second. They were like, I don't know. It's really, if you have a magic trick that makes people, most people are like, wow, that was nice, very cool, man. But if you have people completely shattered, they're like, and they're just like, this is an experience.
That's exactly how me and Johnny were when you showed it to us. You can remember, like, what? Wait, what? There's a lot of people asking how your mind works and what's in your mind and stuff. It's what?
Oh, that's an amazing question. What is the origin of screaming "who" every time you do say "who"?
Yeah, this is actually. I was actually hanging out with Tony Chang in New York City, and it's really difficult to impress Tony Chang. It's like, this guy knows everything, and he's like, that's sweet, that's funny. He's always like, and when I showed him my, this production, he was the first time he was like, and at this moment, I think, I don't know, we met then all the time, and we were with Tony, we were just all the time running through New York City, and we went to the cabs, we just looked inside, and we were like, hey, can you drive us to the, woo, let's do it, we were just all the time just having fun with this, because, and then people in New York, it was like, I felt like it was like a trend, that you just come in and you're like, woo, you do this, it was more over the top shit, but it was just great at that time, and then people got to know it, and then it's great to live something, to really, it was not forced to become this cool person, I hope everybody understood that this is a bit with a self-ironic taste to it, that you can just be, I mean, it fits to any situation. You're like, oh, really? Oh, man. Woo, I'm out. Bye. It's like, it's an icebreaker for your magic. This is what it is.
That's amazing.
If I could ask you, Toby, what type of magic that moves you? What type of magic do you enjoy the most viewing?
Yeah, I feel I look at a lot of magicians, and I don't know, the stuff I see on Instagram, for example, this is mostly, I can predict so much how the trick ends at the end.
I know, right?
But maybe let's ask the question what I like.
Well, that's a question. That was a question to begin with. What do you prefer? What do you prefer to see? Yeah.
It's interesting. I also asked me this question the other day when I was looking what is actually in my art attracts me so much. It's this moment where an object becomes alive on itself. There's nothing more. For me, just a simple thing where, you have a card. Oh man, these cards are so new. You have to. So you do this, and something is just rising. That maybe I use my finger or whatever, but actually I'm not doing anything. But the point is just something that is moving by itself. There's a magic around going on. It's really, if you see something and then it's changing and you don't see what was there behind, the magical question is, there is no trick involved if you do sleight of hand. Of course there's sleight of hand, but if you can create something where your hands are not moving and it's so clean that your mind goes crazy with what helps there, what is there behind, like this is something I really love. And I don't know, just even putting up the silk up and down and you have always something different in your face. There is something that I really love about, because it's surprise, it's magical, and I love funny stuff. I love strange humor that drifts in a surreal kind of way.
Isn't this like with the thing you do with your hand, the amazing effect, would you like to?
Please.
Yeah, would you like to do this?
You do this, here. Yeah.
That's so strange.
That's so weird.
That's bizarre, yeah. Wow. And
it's something I trained for some time. It feels pretty crazy if you do this all day in your studio.
Yeah,
But
and
it
it's
is,
exactly what you said, right? That something, changes and you can't see it, and it looks perfect.
The thing is, even that for sure everybody knows how it works. You don't want to see how it's done. You don't want to think about it, because you just want to enjoy the magic itself. It's like you see a shadow player or a puppet player, right? Who's really good making the puppet being alive. But you don't want to see the strings anymore. You just want to see this little person. You want to see the illusion. And there's the great artistic part of it, because if you reach the point that people, you don't have to fool them. They want to be fooled in their brain, and you don't have to say like, I'm really good. Look, take a card. Look, it's fair, right? It's fair, right? I don't want to do this, because it's so nice if you can just show something magical and people have immediately the appreciation to it, that they like, wow, this is like, I don't care how you do it, how you did it. It was really beautiful. This is the aim I'm hunting for. It's of course it's good to fool people as well.
And this one good inspiration by Danny Silversmith, which is he wants you to pinpoint a person that is your biggest inspiration. I mean, we all get inspired from art and other stuff, but who is your biggest inspiration?
In general, not magic, everything.
Whom? Who is your inspiration?
Let me think.
Go with magic.
Yeah, I think there are like really. Okay, let's say first someone who's dead, and then maybe somebody alive.
Okay,
fair enough.
I mean, definitely, we talked about Georges Méliès, Robert Houdin, kind of this time. This is where I'm really stuck. And when I was a kid, of course, you see there in Copperfield, you just want to be the same cool at this time, when you grow up with this. But if you look today, I think when I went to New York, there was this moment where I hang out with Tony Chang and Doug McKenzie, and I saw where magic can go to. And I think there, I thought I knew a lot about magic at this point, but New York changed my completely perspective. So if you want to, you should hang out in New York City for a little while and see what your magic is looking afterwards.
That's a beautiful moment for someone's life, right? When you think you know enough of a subject and suddenly you see something that changes your head altogether.
It's not beautiful at the moment.
It's not, the moment you feel like a kid, but
It's also really a point in life when you feel like I'm so inspired. When is a point where you're so inspired from something that you just want to change your way of thinking and life to this direction? This is so good. This is really important. You have to meet a lot of people, and this is the most important thing.
So speaking about meeting people, how is life now during COVID?
Yeah.
What would you say? I mean, we're all having hard times.
It's really tough, man. I'm so used to see my friends in every night in the bar or something, and show them my little new things I came up with on the day. And video chat is, as I said, it's the best way to communicate in the moment, and I really love that people having always a little time for me to see my stuff, you know, and in the moment it's pretty. I'm waiting for the next convention to come back, you know. It's like
us as well, buddy. I mean, how do you feel though this affects Magic from your perspective? How do you think that affects Magic? Do you think it will change forever? It's something that's going to be okay at some point?
I'm really interested. I think if you see the lockdown stuff, everybody said like, oh wow, let's see 9 months later there will be so many babies. And I believe that, but not with real babies. Let's talk about Magic. For sure, in the next, you know, what people came up with in this time where everybody had to sit at home, use the time wisely and create things. Just, you had no other chance, just training your Magic and getting ready to show it to people soon. I'm really sure that next year is going to be a year with crazy new ideas. I don't know. I hope Magic will never die because of Corona, you know?
Yeah. I believe that.
No, I don't think so. So another good question in the chat says, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me think. I think at this point I will do better with my creations and have them, like, I feel already now that with all these things, it has to go in a crazy, because with my art, you know, everything will expand. That I want to be this artist, magician guy who has this maybe strange gallery as well with artistic magic items. My favorite thing would be to have a magic castle here in Berlin, which would be awesome to invite all my friends and just people see the best magic in the world. This would be cool.
It would. It actually would.
Yeah, good dream.
All right, so we know that you have a workshop. It's coming up, and Perseus, go ahead.
Toby should go ahead. Tell us about the workshop.
Oh yeah, it's just next week. I'm just doing with a workshop with Mario Lopez at the Milagro. I'm teaching
everything about it. Come on.
Yeah, he's the best. Mario Lopez is. This is also a person I'm really inspired every time I talk to, because we have kind of this strange humor in common that we always like, hey, do you know this? You know, and then we show us just stupid stuff, and this is always so fun. It's like.
So what's going to happen in the workshop?
Yeah, I'm teaching some other body illusions I came up with in the last year, and I have also some. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I came up with an effect that is so simple, but it's playing so big. Like, I don't know. Should I show it? No, I shouldn't.
We cannot teach stuff here because on Twitch, you know, anybody can walk in. But if you want to perform something, you know, it's absolutely up to you. If you want to show us some magic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, but just not, you know, do an explanation of anything.
No, I'm not explaining the stuff. I'm just.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I love concepts that are really interesting, and you can also use for. Well, this is also something I show you now. Have to see here. The conditions are good. Yeah, let me try. You know, I was really into card throwing for some time. Mm-hmm. And I learned how to throw cards really hard. You know, you have to see the wall is already completely destroyed. But if you take a card and I try to throw that card around the world. Okay, you see that? It mostly takes like 3 or 5 seconds, and shit was yeah, it's just interesting when you know the framing of your video. It's like curtains, right?
Yeah.
And if you use this for your magic, it's really nice if something comes in there and comes out there. You know, it's like just playing with pictures that are getting a bit bigger. I'm going into this in the workshop, how you can create like just the mindset of not, even if the effect is just helping you, the trick, the method, it's just helping you to show that picture what you're telling to people, you know. don't know. It's just bullshit.
No, it's framing is one of the most important aspects, in magic. So that the fact that you're, taking it a step further and using it as a frame for a video, that's something that goes. I think it's a very clever idea.
It is. It is. You've sold this one, but Chronos9326 wants to know this. Have you ever come across a magical problem that you've been unable to solve to your satisfaction, or do all your creations have happy endings?
Oh, every day I have a great idea, and then I'm going like, okay, and then I build this underneath, so it will turn. Cool. And then I do it, and then I realize like, fuck, it doesn't work. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And it's so important to fall over these problems, because if you don't see the problem, you cannot solve it, right? It's for me, I never take it negative that something is not working, because it's mostly showing me a way that it works in another direction for sure.
Wow.
This is the most important thing. People who are like, oh no, it doesn't work. Come on, But that's wrong, because you have to use that. This is the perfect point. You realized, that this mistake is easy to solve then, and sometimes I fall over things when I create things, and something works different as I thought, and it's much more clever than I could ever think of before, And then it's like, damn, like how can I come up with this now, because I tried this and that and this, And this is so important. If you have to experiment a lot, and if you don't play, you cannot think, right? You cannot think of the perfect thing from the beginning. You really have to take it in your hands, see how it's actually moving around, and then test it on someone. But first, it's the prototype that you have to start first with. And if it's not working out at the first moment, it's completely normal. Like, takes maybe years sometimes to figure it out.
That's a wonderful attitude, though. Like, to take your obstacles and turn them into advantages. That's a great way to evolve your magic.
Exactly. And this is also it worth the time, even if you worked on something for weeks and it didn't work out. These 3 weeks, whatever, they were not lost of time. They were so important for you to realize that you tried everything, it didn't work, so I have to go this way, right? It's just important to not give up, right? There's always a solution. That is great.
That's amazing. That's a very nice attitude. So, Perseus, what else would you like to ask him?
I wanted to ask Toby, because a lot of people, are desperately trying to release stuff, right? And they come to us, or probably going to other companies as well, with semi-finished products, or ideas that they're not road tested but just look good once and stuff. What's your advice for those people? What would you say to those people that really want to release stuff, really want to create new stuff? And when to release
it? This is a good question, because sometimes you think you have an idea that's so good, right? And then you have to imagine it's like this then, right? And then and then they explain you how the trick works, but you're like, okay, but why you don't have it ready? Can you not show me how it would work in real? Like they're just getting these crazy ideas, and I love the ideas sometimes, but you need to really make it work until this is really happening, and you have to get your prototypes in a condition that you played with this prototype even in your shows, in your professional shows, and you're really sure that this is something to pull off, to really get ready. I mean, a company is there for you to really take care of that. This is what you are thinking of is well built and well done, and I mean, even you get also some great ideas from the companies to make this better or make it a better product. But you have to first, live with this product for a little while. And I mean, it's the worst if you bring it out and then afterwards, when it's all in the product, in the box, and you're like, oh shit, but it would have been, I just thought of it last week, and now it would be so much better to have here, like a little holder that it's easier, and like, it's too late. You have to really see what you really need, that it makes it really comfortable for you and others to play with it. It's a long way to go there, and you shouldn't just rush.
It's such a shame when someone puts something out which is not that ready or good, and then later on they go like, maybe the company does put it out, and then he gets the name. Oh, no, that's his stuff is crap because no, it didn't work. You want
Even
to
the
have to,
inventor.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
You have to be careful,
this
what you
is our
release.
problem.
No.
And that's why I think that the most important thing that you said today is that you create stuff that you actually want to perform, right? I mean, I think that this is the best advice you can give to someone that wants to create something, because you don't just create to create. You create something you really want, to go out there and perform it for people. And I think that's,
If I would create to make you all guys happy with a new creation, this is not, this is, I teach you one of my effects where I'm thinking, damn, this is something I love to do. And it's really weird to perform it. It's my style, but maybe you like it. Maybe you get inspiration from it.
Yeah.
This is like an art piece. If you do art, you don't do art for other people, right? Then it's
Exactly.
not good art. It has to be something that comes out of you and you actually love it so much. But look, I want to share this with the community because I think people get inspiration from it. This is how you should see it. Yeah.
So what you said was a perfect segue to a question in the chat. That is, what is your goal when creating magic and performing, and what do you want your spectators to feel?
Yeah, it also changed when I'm performing. I really love to get more and more close up, so close up that I'm like, like this. And I really want to give someone, in best case, an experience, a strong experience with magic. It's the best magic tricks for me are mostly the ones where the spectator can hold something and is really physically involved in the experiment. And you can stand there and do your perfect, you can watch, watch. But people are like, wow, it looks cool. It's also one way, but I think it's so much stronger to really let people's mind make the magic strong. So it's what you show them is mostly a combination of things that people see it as a magic trick. You cannot do magic so much, right? So you have to just make it look like there was magic, and people in their brain it becomes the magic trick. So you have to imagine, if you really want to perform great magic, it should be visual and it should get a touch to something strange where their world is opening up in a really, it's a subtlety. People, I cannot really describe what people should feel there, but they should be completely astonished about it. Like at the end, they'll have to deny what they see. Like, this is not possible. This is, I don't know. It really has to be really close to the spectator. Then it's a great magic trick.
Since we're into the feelings stuff, and I know you're an artist, you do the installations, and you also paint as well. And do you view magic as art? Same. I mean, when you want to express yourself, do you use your only installation, or do you think you can express yourself through magic? What's your point in that?
Oh yeah, it depends what you want to say. It's if you want to tell something about love, maybe it's better to write a song about love instead of putting it into a card trick. Maybe this is not the right medium to express it, right?
Okay.
It's really depends what people have to feel at the end. If you mostly you want to make them astonished about things, like about the world, that we cannot be sure what we have here in this planet. That it makes some more sense that you're trying to show a little optical illusion to make the context for the whole universe, that everything is a different way of perspective, and then you see it differently. And that makes sense to use magic in a way that you describe the reality. But if you want to go to different feelings, maybe it's better to look for the right medium to express what you try to say there. It's, I don't know. For me, it's the worst to say that if you go like, look, the clubs stands for the relation, and the hearts is the love, and people, they cannot really connect to playing cards if we would go to subjects that are going like that big, like love and stuff. It's not a playing card. It has to feel different.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Really... You totally crapped on top of my whole philosophy in magic, but okay.
No, I don't say it's wrong.
I know, buddy. I know. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's a really interesting medium. This is why I love film so much, because film is the illusion, and it can tell you things just with your eyes that you see and you combine, associate things. And magic is for me, if you do a real slide for magic, right? This is trick photography, right? This is trick photography in real, right? This is such an interesting expression that people talk about. Wow, it looks like trick photography, because they know the medium now of film. 200 years ago, they say like, man, this. Are you a wizard? Are you a real wizard? You know,
Burn him.
Burn him.
Bring the fire.
But
yeah,
that's,
make the fire. That's the thing.
That's the good part of it. You know, you have different kinds of films, different kinds of photographers, different kinds of poets, even. You know, so that's a good thing. It's with magic, it's like whoever wants to express what, he can get any style you want, and that's a beautiful arts to be a part of.
Yeah, it's magic can do what no other art form can do. It's the astonishment. It's, I don't know, if I talk too much with Garrett Thomas about stuff that is it's really defining what all the arts are about. And for me, magic is for definitely an art form, but you learn just techniques, like a carpenter learns how to do things. It's at the end you're really good at it, and then it can also express something really beautiful. It's difficult to describe what is art and not, but everybody has the chance to be an artist.
So before we go, you have to give us a little teaser of your upcoming project with Illusionist, because we know what it is, but we want you to explain how different it is to everything else. Like, I don't know what I can say.
Go ahead. You have to be really careful.
Yeah, it's. I have something coming up soon. It's. I don't know how much I should tell about it, but it's really a concept that people haven't used. I feel like if I show this to people, they're like, and I feel like it's a new field. It has to do with kind of an animation that will go on, that people will believe that they saw that, But it would be too crazy now to show you what it actually looks like. But
no.
It's definitely something people love, I think, to play with, because it is really handy and it makes it's kind of rude to perform this as well, and I love things that are rude.
That's a bit of a given in your releases and your creations, though. You always come up with something people get and then just want to play with it. You have these little things that are interesting,
because I make them tools. They're mostly tools that people can have their own story to, and this is then suddenly a good product if it triggers your own juices of creativity. This is the best thing that can happen. It's something. Man, I should have shown you something here right now.
No, you don't have to. But yeah.
It's not that. Don't worry.
This is the brand new effect.
How to become the devil.
Yeah. But I can show you one thing, because I'm always looking so cool. You want to see me how I look when I'm intellectual?
Yeah.
I still look fucking cool. That's so stupid. I think you cannot even see that on the camera what happens here. But...
No, we could see it alright. Don't worry.
Yeah, and
I know it's a little bit, how do you call them? Cliche as a question to magicians in interviews, but I really think it's important because it helps people who look up to you, of course, to work around your philosophies and your way of thinking. I want you to give us like a few pointers, a few advice you would give new magicians, new creators, a few pointers of how they should work about it, how, what should they look out for, tips, tricks, stuff they can do for creating.
Yeah, I would say first is you have to look at a lot of things. Like look at, if you have an idea and you want to, let's say, make something disappear, let's say an object, then look at this object, what already is existing with this kind of Rubik's Cube or an egg you want to disappear or whatever. You look all the fields, what exists, which pictures got created with this, which techniques are existing already, and feel free to use them all to explore your own idea with this. But don't just steal the, a piece from someone. But I think it's allowed for you to get creative, to take everything that you saw there and have it in your mind and then stack it together in your way. But first I want to say you have to look at a lot of things and figure out what you like, and then ask yourself why you like it so much. And this is interesting to figure out. And then at one point you realize you love things that are levitating. You always look for levitations, or and then you look deeper into levitating objects. And when you create something, it's mostly press the play button. You have to play. Nothing comes by thinking. You have to really put all your invisible and see what happens if you do this, and try everything out. And if you fail, it's great. As I said, you really have to make, and making is thinking. This is everything I can give you to explore the world. You have to be a scientist. He's just looking at things. He is comparing the things, and he's exploring, like making experiments. This is the three things you have to do. And this is the best way to come to a result you can never think of. It's the paper and the pen, as I always say, is more intelligent than you are. So just start drawing something and you will see it will communicate to you. So it's not something that comes on the next day. Sometimes it takes maybe one day on one night, and sometimes it takes 5 years until you make this happen, what you thought of, or you discovered it.
I love what you say, because I bet that a lot of people, know your effects, and they would be like, "Oh, we're gonna go the interview. It's gonna be like, flashy stuff, etc." But you explained like a lot of your creative process. It was like a TED talk, and it was an amazing insight on how you think, and I think that this is
this is the important
interesting
stuff
to a lot of people. Yeah, this is what.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're one of the most creative people out there. That we believe that, and to get a chance to pick your mind a little bit, and we're probably going to do this again if we do.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm always up for it.
Yeah, I think it's really inspiring for all of us, and thank you so much for doing that, man. We really
of course, man. I definitely hang also out at the Discord channel you do there now. It's
we can't wait to see you again.
Yeah, and to the rest of the chat watching, we will be giving away some decks tonight on the Discord chat. So please join us there, and we'll all have an amazing time.
Yeah. Did you mention the giveaway?
I just said we're gonna hang out a couple of decks.
Yeah. It's gonna happen today. So be sure to come by the Discord server today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you so much, Toby.
Everybody, give it up for Toby, Tobias,
Yeah.
Dostal. Thank you so much, man. Thank you again. I'll see you at Discord.
Yeah.
See you later at Discord. That's a good
Thanks.
question. Yeah, perfect.
Thanks everyone for coming by. We appreciate it.
We'll see you later on. Take care.
Yeah, see you guys.